Okay, we're going to do some guided practice to practice what we just learned in the notes. We need to be on page 88. In the first few problems, we need to identify the ordered pair that names each point or the name of the point. And then we're going to identify which quadrant it's in. So first question is asking for T. Now you're going to look back at examples 1 and 2 in the notes if you need more assistance. If we find the letter T, it's over here. Remember, the first thing we always do is we go to the origin and we figure out how far something is horizontally on the x-axis. So if we go over, we're going to see that we have this point, which is negative 1.5. So that's going to be the x. So negative 1 1/2. And then once we have that, we go down and we find that t is exactly negative 2 going down the y-axis, so we put negative 2. Okay. Now, I need you to look back at the notes because the next thing I'm going to ask you is which quadrant this is in. So remember, we have quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. But where is 1? Where is 2? Where is 3? And where is 4? Go back and look at the notes and answer that for me, please. All right, so back in the notes, we noticed that this is quadrant 1, this is quadrant 2, this is quadrant 3, and this is quadrant 4, and we always identify those quadrants by Roman numerals. So we're going to write that this one is in quadrant 3. Okay. For number 2, I want you to tell me which letter is represented by negative 1.5 and 0. Answer that for me, please. Very good. We are start at 0, go horizontally to negative 1.5, and if we don't go up or down at all, what letter is that? That is definitely K. So if you said K, good job. Now I want you to identify which quadrant K is in. Go ahead and answer that for me, please. Very good. It actually is not in any quadrant. It is on the x-axis. It doesn't go up into quadrant 2. It doesn't go down into quadrant 3. Now let's go ahead and identify what letter is at negative 2 and positive 2.5. Go ahead and answer that for me, please. All right, so we start at 0 and we go negative 2, and then we go up positive 2.5. If you answered B, you are correct. Now tell me which quadrant that's in. Very good. I still have that labeled, and so you should have said it is quadrant 2. Number 4 says, refer to the diagram of a school. And A says the gym is located 2 units to the right and 4 units down from the office. What coordinates are this location? So we're going to find the gym first. Okay, so where's the gym? Okay, hang on a second. We're actually finding the gym, so we're going to go to the office. Okay, so if we're at the office, go 2 units to the right and then 4 units down, and I want you to write what coordinates that is. So let's go 2 units to the right, 1, 2. That's going to be 3 is the x, and then you go 4 units down, 1, 2, 3, 4. And as you notice, that is going to be what kind of 4? Negative or positive? Very good. So positive 3, negative 4 is where the gym is located. We're going to graph and label the location of the gym. So we're going to go over positive 3, down negative 4, and then that is where G for gym is going to be. All right, let's go ahead and look at some of the independent practice problems that we're going to be doing today. All right, we need to be on page 89. For the first section, it says to identify the ordered pair that names each point. Identify the quadrant in which it's located. So we have two different things we need to do. All right, we always start at 0, and it says to find r first. So we're going to go over 2, positive 2, on the horizontal number line, and then we go up 2, which is positive 2. So the first point that we're doing together should be 2, comma, 2. Which quadrant is this? And if you don't remember, please go back into the notes and label. This is actually quadrant 1. Positive and positive is quadrant 1. So I'm going to write quadrant Q1. All right, you're going to do the rest of the problems 1 through 6 in the same fashion. Find the letter. Identify first by starting at 0 and going either to the right or the left, either positive or negative. Write that number down, and then go up, which is positive, or down, which is negative, and write the second number down, and then label the quadrant. On 7 through 12, it says identify the name of each point, and then identify the quadrant. Okay, so we're looking for what letter is at -2 and 5/10 and 1 and 5/10 positive. So we start at 0, and if we're going negative, we go to the left first. We go all the way to 2.5 negative. Then we go up 1.5 positive, and the letter would be Z. And then it asks us to label the quadrant, and that's going to be 1, 2, quadrant 2. Then you'll do the rest of those on that one. Okay, for the next practice problem we're going to do together, it says to graph and label each point on the coordinate plane to the right. So we're going to label this point coordinate ordered pair K. It's the first value is -3 and 25/100ths, which is the same as 1/4. So we start at 0, we go to -3, and halfway is too much, so that's going to be -3.5. So we're going to come back a little bit to 1/2 of 1/2, which is a fourth, and then we're going to go up 3, and we're going to put a point right there, and then we say that is K, and do the same thing for the rest of those. Number 17 says to explain why the point -3 and 2 is different than +2 and 3. And you can actually act that out using this coordinate plane if you like. Explain why they're different. Okay, remember, you always go to the horizontal first, which is the x-axis, and then you go to the vertical. How does it make a difference? Number 18 says, if you were to interchange the coordinates of any point in quadrant 2, which quadrant would be the new point be located in? Justify your answer. So first you have to figure out what quadrant 2 is, and I want you to name a point in quadrant 2, then switch them around and see which quadrant you would end up in and explain that. We are going to do the problems on the back of this page too, so we're going to talk about those in just a second. Okay, number 19 says, are the following coordinates located within the circle graphed? So you're going to find the point and then say yes or no whether they're inside the circle. We'll do the first one together, -1 and +1.5. So if I go to -1 and then I go up to 1.5, is that inside the circle? The answer is no. Number 20 says, on a coordinate plane, draw the triangle ABC with the vertices A, B, C with those ordered pairs, and then determine whether the area of the triangle in square units. Okay, this is going to be an estimation. So once you draw the triangle based on those 3 points, just count these squares that you see inside and give me a general idea of how many squares you think that is. Number 21 says, without graphing, identify the quadrant in which each of the following statements is true for any point x, y. Justify your response. Okay, so if X and Y coordinates have the same sign. So go back into your notes and look to see if both the numbers have the same sign, what quadrant could it be? It could be actually one of two quadrants. So tell me which two quadrants have the same sign for each number. Number 22 says the Y and X coordinates have opposite signs. So the other two quadrants have opposite signs for their points. Please write which quadrants those are. Number 23, does the order of the numbers in any ordered pair matter when naming a point? Can that point be represented by more than one ordered pair? We've already asked this question a little bit. So can you just switch the numbers around and does it mean the same thing? And could you name a point in more than one way? Think about that.